it's not always that it's clean sailing, but it's easier sailing, right? Setting something up correctly, again, with a marriage. If you meet someone today and you marry them instantly, there's a lot that you don't know. So it's not to say that it can't be the greatest marriage in the world, right? Maybe this is the love of your life and you guys are going to be together forever. But the odds are small that that is in fact going to be the case because you know nothing about this person. So when you don't set up a business transaction correctly, and I even say this with my clients, setting expectations is something that people don't do enough of nowadays. People are so desperate for work. So this is in the legal space. Lawyers are so desperate for work. A client will call them and say, "Can you do this?" "Yes, I can." And they won't be able to set those expectations over, but you realize how much it costs. You realize that our courts take really long in achieving these results. You realize this, you realize this. People get into bed together. People hire service providers without asking all the questions, only to be disappointed later. And again, with structuring, when you set it up, you know as well as I do that you might have difficult partners who are rude or obnoxious, that push back every time you try and make a decision. And unfortunately, it does happen, but it makes it easier. If there's a rule in the contract, for example, to say on the 31st of January 2030, whether we like it or not, the property is going to be sold unless everyone agrees otherwise. Well, you know what? You've got a perfect right there that you can enforce because you guys thought about it ahead of time and you agreed. A forced sale provision. If you commit fraud, and I dealt with this the other day on an engineering client of mine, they had this shareholders agreement they downloaded from the internet, dealt with a couple of things, but specifically did not deal with, said that if the person's employment is terminated, they're not allowed to be shareholder. The problem here is that the employment was terminated and the guy went to the CCMA and the CCMA reinstated him, pending further disciplinary hearing and further investigation. So now they sat with this person that now wasn't doing the job, but got reinstated, and it was pending in the labor court because there was an appeal. And the contract said nothing about, but if they commit fraud, we're entitled to buy them out. A simple one. We always do that. If you commit fraud against the company or you show conflict of interest, we're entitled to buy out. If you do this, you're out. And they didn't have that. And unfortunately, pending the labor dispute, this person had to stay shareholder and continuously kept voting in this company. So that's obviously a greater example. But had they just put in that clause to say, if you do X and we can prove it easily, you're out of the company. Here's the formula for the sale of your shares. Thank you very much. We take your shares, we walk away with it. Could have spared them so much heartache at the end. So run your business, negotiate the business, set the roadmap as much as you can, make it part of the JV, and then you've got yourself a nice formula for success.